Oh yeah.
Let me do that. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Split Couch Games. My voice cracked because I have a cold.
Talking is hard.
Talking is very hard. We're back with another Couchcast. I have no idea what number this is off the top of my head. It's been so
I don't
freaking
either.
long. Oh
Yeah.
my
So
god.
why don't we start there? It's fucking been a while
Oh, it's
since
been such
we've
a long
done
time.
anything like this.
Well, first,
And
okay,
obviously
so yeah, so it's been a long time. And we can talk about like what happened and why that's been the case, obviously. But I want to start with like obviously this is a new setup. There was some technical difficulties, so some of the stuff that we wanted to do is not going to work. But we will make it better as we go along in future iterations of this.
growing process.
But you can like totally see our faces, and it's great because we're
Yeah.
so freaking beautiful. Anyway, go ahead and we can talk about why we were gone for so long.
Um I think it technically started when like back in March of last year, I think, is
Something
when we
like that.
started falling off the wagon there.
Oh, yeah.
And that was mainly just because my wife and I, we started, like looking into buying a house and everything, and you were looking into buying your own condo, and bada bing, bada boom, here we are. So,
Surprise.
we own property and such. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a little bit of a life changing moment, and
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time and energy.
Yeah.
And after that, for me at least, like things at work got kind of banana pants crazy. For a long while. They still technically are, but that's not gonna change anytime soon, I don't think. So
Yeah. I mean, work life, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and I think like the biggest thing is that like, so there's a whole bunch of busyness, and then we used to like live in the same apartment, and that was very convenient because it was like, hey, we're both not busy at this point in time, and we feel like doing a podcast, so let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
We don't have eyes on each other. Like, okay, like he's not doing anything right now. Like I'm not doing anything right now. So it's like it's a little bit harder to schedule. So finally, I was just like, Ben, January 5th, we're doing it. And
I was like, okay, that's
Okay.
fine, because I'll be back from my trip to Indiana. So
man, I went to Minnesota, and thus I'm sick because my nephew goes to daycare and gets germs from other kids. It's great.
clearly you don't rub enough children on your face on a day-to-day basis.
So that reminds me.
Why does that remind you of anything?
So because like when I realized that we were going to be doing a live podcast, I thought back
Yeah.
to the times that we've had to cut things out of what we've done, which is very rare. Like we have almost 600
Yeah.
videos on the channel, and there's only been like a couple times where we're like, okay, we got to remove that because we can't say that on the internet.
Yeah.
And there was
there's
there's one in particular that I remember very vividly because you actually put it on the internet, and it was like one of the few times I actually watched one of our videos once it went online, and then like that moment was in there, and I was like,
I don't remember this.
it was we were talking about Halo, the Halo Wars,
Okay.
and you referred to it as something, and I'm not gonna repeat it because it was bad. I'll tell you after the podcast.
What
But, like,
did I refer to it?
it was bad. And like I was Ben, you can't put it on there. You can't. You have to. So you had to like go in to the editing like on YouTube and cut it out. It was bad. So
All right.
like anyway, so like I'm like there's like a part of me where I'm like, okay, what's Ben gonna say while we're live? Like just a little bit part of me. But
I
anyway.
mean, you make it sound like I'm a terrible person and everything, and
No.
that might
You just-
slightly be true.
There's a
but-
there's a filter problem.
well,
there's a
it's a filter problem combined with the fact that like not everyone in the entire world knows me, so I can say something in jest, but it may not necessarily come across as that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so as you guys know, we on Split Couch on our Couchcast like to talk about news, whether it's video games, YouTube, and sometimes other mainstream media forms of entertainment. And luckily for us, Jake Paul is in the news, and also Ricegum, and a couple other YouTubers, but they're smaller and less prolific, if you will.
How have I not heard about any of this?
I
Granted,
don't know.
I've been a little disconnected for like the last 2 weeks because again I was in Indiana.
This happened on
so.
January 2nd, which also I think is like when Logan Paul released the Suicide Force video was January 2nd last year. So like I kind of want to like coin like January 2nd like the Paul day where they just do something fucking dumb. Like they're probably gonna murder someone on camera next time. Like they're just gonna like.
I mean, technically they already did that. It was just fake.
Oh yeah. This is real though. Anyway, so basically what happened is Ricegum and Jake Paul released a video where they partnered with a site called Mystery Brand. And Mystery Brand is basically loot boxes for real life.
Okay.
You pay like anywhere from like, $4 a box to like $30 a box or whatever. And then
Okay.
you can win like nice like sneakers and like iPhones and iPads. You can win a Lamborghini, you can win a Rolls Royce, and you can win a $250 million LA home. And I can tell by your expression in the camera that you're skeptical of the whole thing.
Just a little bit.
So, anyway, so the video is like, it's just both their videos is like, oh my god, I won this thing, woo! Like I spent like $10,000 and I won this iPhone. Actually, like that was one of the things that Jake Paul was super excited about. He's like, I won an iPhone. I only put $10,000 in.
Right, yeah, because you can't afford that otherwise.
Yeah, right.
How many Lamborghinis does he have again?
I don't know, more than he needs. But anyway,
yeah, that's true.
So that's the whole. That's basically the thing, and like I can see from your face that you kind of understand the problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the main thing that everyone's freaking out about is like it's not so much. Like, it's obviously, like, it's a scam site. Like, there's no way that any of it, like, is happening for real.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that he's marketing gambling to children, basically.
Yeah.
Because we all know that, like, his main audience is, like, 8 years old.
A lot of kids. Yeah.
And that's the age where, like, that, like, addiction to gambling can get, like, seriously wired into your, like, who you are. So... I don't know, like, so that's kind of like what it is. And like the question I kind of want to know is like, at what point does the government need to step in and start monitoring YouTube, similar to like ads on on TV for children?
Well, I mean,
for
technically speaking, they should be stepping in. Like, it's not a matter of when; it's a matter of like he's legitimately breaking the law on many different fronts.
And to be clear, like I don't want to like just single out Jake. Like there's plenty of other YouTubers that
oh sure.
Yeah. That
But I mean the Paul brothers are the most prolific example. Yeah. Just simply because they have a large audience that is younger, and as a result of that, hey Zevran, how you doing, buddy?
Hi Zevran.
Say hello to the internet.
He's just a black.
I was gonna say you're appearing as a black ball, so you have to not be up here now, okay, buddy? That means letting go of the t-shirt.
But yeah, the other thing that I think is important is that I forget the exact number, but there's only a certain amount of your content, if it's directed at kids, that can be an advertisement, and it has to be like clearly labeled. And this video is like over 10 minutes long. Of just
constantly go sign up. Yeah.
You could win this too.
See, now the thing that I'm wondering about is this another like T Martin Pro Syndicate kind of situation where it's actually his business,
No,
but he's pretending it's
no,
not.
no, 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 no. This is a legit business from China.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
No,
Okay.
this is a partnered, and like Rice came out with a video not apologizing for this. Basically, he literally just started like throwing like insults and like saying like, "Oh, these other YouTubers from like 4 weeks ago, they did it, so it's fine." Because I shot someone and everyone else is shooting people, so it's fine. Because
Yeah, right.
that's how blame works. So do with that what you will. But
I, I
yeah,
don't know. I'm like I said, I was a little bit disconnected from
yeah,
the YouTube world as a whole, especially over the last 2 weeks.
mm-hmm.
Usually I can like kind of stay in the loop just simply because like, I watch Philip DeFranco's videos or something like that. But,
Yeah,
um, he was even on vacation for the last 2 weeks.
yeah.
So
I'm excited for his take on this whole thing. But yeah, it was surprising. Like, I mean, I guess like there's not as much discussion here as I wanted, but like, yeah, I mean the FCC, no
uh-oh.
FCC.
Hold on a second.
Okay, we're live. But yeah. Oh, there's another cat. Anyway, I'll. I don't. I don't know what to say because there's Ben.
I am back.
He's back. Um, but yeah. So anyway, so I think the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, needs to step in and like work with YouTube at the very least to be like, hey, like you have to follow these advertising rules and like
Yeah.
all your partners, because that's the thing. Like, I know that like the Paul brothers and like other edgy YouTubers are not like the majority of YouTubers, and like most YouTubers
Yeah.
are
It's everyone.
fairly good.
I
Like
love you so much.
fairly good people and
Stop.
all that, but like the Paul brothers and like are partnered by YouTube, so they're supported by YouTube, and it's bad for YouTube. So like they just need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be a part of it.
And I
And
mean, it kind of gets into the situation that I know that we've talked about before, which is just essentially, like government oversight
mm-hmm.
and or limitations that YouTube can even feasibly have control over.
Yeah,
Because I mean, obviously, something like this, when it comes to normal broadcast television, the responsibility of making sure advertisements are only at appropriate intervals and that kind of thing would be completely on the broadcaster.
yeah,
And that's easier for the government to monitor in that type of situation just simply because and I could be very wrong, I'm speculating here,
mm-hmm.
but I would imagine it's easier just simply because there are fewer broadcasters and they're actually like licensed and all this kind
Yeah,
of stuff to
yeah,
actually do business.
yeah,
Whereas with YouTube, technically, in a weird way, YouTube isn't the broadcaster since they're just the host platform and it's the individual content creators that are the broadcasters.
sure,
But
yeah,
since they don't have to go through any sort of like licensing process or anything,
mm-hmm.
and since, as has been reiterated many times before, it's something like hundreds or thousands of hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute or something
Yeah,
like that. So
yeah. There's no way.
it makes sense.
There's no way to police it really, but like I
Yeah.
feel like there's a way, and like I hate the idea of like YouTube having to crack down on stuff more or whatever, but the I feel like for like the top one, like maybe not even top 1%, but like the highest amount of channels, like let's say you have over 10 million subscribers, you have a huge
Hmm.
reach, you're competing with broadcast channels at that point on television.
Yeah.
There should be that's probably the way to act. Like, you know, you could police those pretty easily. Make sure that like when you're reaching that massive of an audience, you're not doing something wrong.
Yeah. And I think that would be probably the best and only way to go about it. Um, and I mean, it's kind of funny because like we're sitting here, kind of shitting on. Was it Jake Paul or was it Logan Paul
Jake.
that was doing the Jake? Okay, I can never keep them straight in my head.
Yeah.
But so we're shitting on him and Ricegum, who are two people that are typically in some sort of trouble or drama on YouTube.
I think they feed off of it, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think they're surprised by the backlash.
Sure. And it's funny that, you say that like, once you get to a certain channel size and everything that you should be policed at least a little bit, by a, government power or something. And I agree with that. But something that I think needs to be made clear here is that it's not just the bad guys of YouTube, if you will, that do this type of thing.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, Markiplier actually did something sort of similar recently. He made a video, and it was a joke, I think, but also like kind of serious.
Oh, the the Tesla thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the I can't even remember the Mark 520 or something. What
No,
was
it
his
was
code?
yeah.
But
It's basically like if you buy a Tesla, use my referral code, and then after 20 people do it, I get a free Tesla, or something.
Yeah, and then you can do the same thing. And so like it was kind of a joke because he realizes that not everyone's gonna have the liquid funds to just go out and buy a Tesla. But at the same time, like there was clearly enough effort put into it that there's like some element of seriousness there.
Yeah, that was a really weird video. Cause it
really was.
I don't watch a lot of Markiplier, but like it popped up and I was like, okay. Very clickbait title.
Like,
I think it was like
I'll
free
bite.
Teslas or whatever. And I was
yeah.
I was like, okay. And then I watched it and it was like 20 minutes of him like standing in the camera. I don't know if it was
saying his code over and over again. Yeah.
And I was like, it was so weird. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like, what is the end game here? And because it was like he was like, this is completely ridiculous, and he was like laughing at himself. But then he like gave his code, and then but like on one hand, it's like he wasn't saying like go out and buy a Tesla, but he wasn't saying don't go buy a Tesla.
Yeah.
But like and it's not like it's not like it's a $7 like a $10 purchase that you can like steal your mom's credit card and go buy a Tesla. So like
and that's like part of the almost like caveat here is that like the one that Mark did was so ridiculous that I feel like even if there were government oversight, that it would probably be overlooked.
Yeah, because I don't think like he's not marketing to children at that point. And like if I went out and bought a Tesla, I'd be like, yeah, I might as well. Like, there's no reason not to say Markiplier referred me.
Yeah,
like,
referred you or whatever.
Like it's not hurting anything. And I'm not like I don't think anyone. No, okay. So no one in their right mind would go out and buy a Tesla because Markiplier was like, go buy a Tesla. But there might be someone who's like, I want to get Mark a Tesla. So I think, but like, and we're best friends because, some people like look at their online creators and are like, we're best friends.
Yeah.
We took a picture at that one convention together. We're like,
yeah. And that's like, that gets kind of into the psychology of YouTube and how people treat their favorite content creators and that kind of thing, which is an entire like scary and messy topic. Cause I mean, like, I enjoy Markiplier's videos, and I've never actually like met him in real life. I've had a few opportunities to like get into the signing line at PAX and that kind of thing, but I've more recently just kind of adopted the stance of like there are other people that care more than I do,
Mm-hmm.
so I will let them have that chance.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't love to meet him and like have a conversation with him, but I feel like that wouldn't really be where
Yeah.
that type of thing could happen.
Yeah.
So
At PAX 1 year, I randomly got the opportunity to just like have a conversation with Ryan from Achievement Hunter.
yeah,
Like just out. Like we were just like I was like, "Hey, you're Ryan. How's it going?" And we just had like a little chat and it was good. It was relaxed and like I don't know. I've never been that interested in meeting celebrities. Like there's a couple that I would fanboy out and be like, "Oh my god, I have to like talk to you." But
yeah,
very few.
yeah. I'm pretty much in the same boat, except like not quite, because I do want to meet a lot of celebrities, but not like meet them and like squeal like a little girl
Yeah.
and hug them and all that kind of shit. Like I want to like meet them and like sit down and have a cup of coffee and just chat.
Yeah.
So
You
I
want to be
think
you
that
want to be their
officially,
friends. you
well, like I think that officially makes me an adult or something. I don't know
Yeah, maybe.
because yeah,
Yeah.
but
Anyway, before we get too far away, I do want to like finish up. Like, there's one. So
okay.
in the terms of service for the website,
Mm-hmm.
here's two. There's two things. So the website, under no circumstances, does not return the. By the way, this is not grammatically correct. The
Oh, of
website
course
and
not.
the website under no circumstances does not return the money spent on a mystery box, and do not exchange the product for another. Is not liable if the mystery box was significantly higher than the cost of the one item. So basically, they're basically saying is that they will not return your money, and they're not responsible if you like pay for something and it's like if you pay like
Yeah,
$100 for a mystery box and you end up getting
and you
like a
get a
sock.
box of tampons or something. Yeah.
Also, one of the prizes that you can win is currency for the website.
Oh, cool.
So guess what? You're gonna win a lot of. You might be surprised to hear that you win a lot of that.
So you probably won't be able to answer this.
Oh, I can answer a lot of
But
things.
I'm curious. Do you know if that website does business in China?
I can't answer that, but I think so.
Because I know that China has like very explicit laws surrounding loot boxes and that kind of thing, be they
Right.
real life or not.
There's something about that. They so most of the information I have comes from H3H3's videos on it.
Okay.
And sometimes like and whether it's actually in China, I don't know if he was just like saying like, oh, it's like some sketchy China like foreign company, not like or something like that, like in a joke. So I don't know if it's actually from China, but they do actually list the odds on the website. But the odds, so the odds for like the but those are sketchy in and of themselves, where because the ones that they were doing in the videos, someone looked at the odds for them and it's like, okay, it's this much, this much, this much. But you can create your own mystery boxes, and if you put the exact same items with the exact same amount of chances, it calculates the cost of the box to be like 20 or like thousands of dollars instead of like $100.
Okay.
So there's like some fishy stuff happening with that. And then on top of that, so keep in mind that like this, so Ricegum and Jake Paul's audience are young, and then Ricegum called out a bunch of other creators that make content for children. So like it seems like this company is targeting children, and this might be why. There's another thing, and I don't feel like enough people are talking about it, but this is the next thing on the line. The website reserves the right to refuse to issue the product one to the user. If the user has not picked up the item within 1 hour from the time of the winning, this product will refund the cost of a winning product on balance of the website. It's so poorly written. I can't like.
Wait, so like if you did win a car or something,
yeah,
you have to pick it up within an hour.
Yeah.
From where?
Well,
From China?
I think like you have to like I assume that they mean that claim it on the website or something. But that's not the part that like that's whatever. Okay.
Okay.
That might just be like that in their potential defense, playing devil's advocate here. That might be because like, hey, we like if you're not going to actually claim it, then we want to put it back in the prize pool or something. Seems reasonable. Claim your prize. If you don't claim it, then we'll refund you whatever. That seems
And so,
like it sucks, but it seems okay.
little bit of clarification here. Is all of this happening like on a website?
Yeah.
Like you put money into a website and then it spins the lotto wheel and spits out your prize and you have to click whether or not you want it?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. That makes a little more sense.
But okay, but
For some reason, and I don't know how I got to this place, but for some reason I was under the impression that they were like physically mailing you a box and then like within said box was some sort of indication as to what you won, whether it was the item itself
No, it plays out like the CS:GO lottery stuff, where it's like you spend.
Gotcha. So it's probably 100% a scam.
Oh, almost. So there's users that have like used the site and it's like their product still hasn't shown up like 6 months later, and stuff like that.
Cool.
But anyway,
cool.
Viper has joined the chat. Hi Viper, how you doing?
Hey Viper.
You'll be able to check, like, we'll be able to put the rebroadcast will be up, so you'll be able to check it out. But the part that really pisses me off, because again, they are targeting children with the YouTubers that they're partnering with.
Mm-hmm.
They have the right to refuse to issue the one item upon request if a website user has not provided proof of confirmation of age. So you have to prove that you're old enough, I believe. Which I would assume you have to be at least over 18, possibly 21.
Interesting.
And they will not refund. So if you're a kid,
so and you could spend a fuck ton of money on this website, win a bunch of shit, and then not be able to claim it, and they won't refund your money.
Yep.
That's actually well.
And to be fair, that might not be what's being said here because like it's absolutely terribly written.
Very, yeah.
So like,
well, it's probably directly translated from Chinese through Google Translate or something. So
yeah. So yeah, it's I don't know. I'm just like that. That's mind blowing. That like, and Ricegum's like defense on it was, well, my manager just like gave me this opportunity and I did it. He handed me like $200,000. What was I supposed to do? And then in his apology, he started like he put like codes for like $10 like Amazon gift cards. He like went like this, and like each time he did that, like a code appeared. So he put like 100 to like $200 on screen. He was like, "I'm a good guy."
I mean, yeah. Like, that's cool that you did it, but you shouldn't, like, if you want to be seen as like a good guy, like, you need to just get into the habit of like, you know what, at the end of every video I'll flash a code on screen or something, or at some point within a video. So also, like, if you really want to work in retention time, like,
well, is it really like that good of a thing to do? Like when it's like you took $200,000 to scam a bunch of children, so you gave away $200. Like,
yeah, well,
you're not,
yeah,
like,
yeah, and
he wasn't apologizing. He was,
yeah,
I don't know,
and that's what I was saying is like, if you were actually a good guy for doing it, then like, that would be a normal thing, not an I'm sorry thing. So yeah.
Oh my god,
it's not good.
Yeah. All right. Well, since we started a little late, I think we're gonna do that. Okay. Yeah. The whole so let's see. Yeah. So anyway, so I think we wrap up. We started a little late. It's 11 a.m. now. And I'm sick and my voice is running on its last bit of fumes here. But before we go, since it's a new year, Ben, anything you're looking forward to, whether it's movie, video game, etc.
Um, anything that I'm looking forward to? Probably more information about the new Dragon Age game.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'm hoping, against all hope, that it's something that'll be coming out like within the next year and a half or so.
I could almost see a year and a half. It's not going to be this year though because Anthem's coming out, right?
Well, Anthem comes out like in a month, so maybe a month and a half, something like that. So I could see them potentially releasing a new Dragon Age in the fall. That way they had, two killer apps, if you will, within 1 year.
Yeah.
But BioWare's not exactly known for
Holiday release.
Well, no, they are known for holiday release, or at least they used to be. But I was more going with the fact like they aren't really known for doing like the quick turnaround in terms of announcement to release.
Gotcha.
They're typically the exact opposite. They hype up the game for years and then release it. But maybe they realize that that's been biting them in the ass this entire time. So maybe they're changing their tune. Who knows? But I'm excited. I actually recently started playing Dragon Age Origins again, which is the first one for context.
Yeah.
And
I should hope so. It's Origins.
Yeah. I'm having fun with it. It aged surprisingly well. Like the graphics are, old, obviously, but like the mechanics and the story and the voice acting and all that kind of stuff is like still really, really good. So
very nice. Viper in the chat says that he is excited for Captain Marvel. I'm cautiously excited about it. I haven't really enjoyed the trailers all that much, but I expect Marvel to put out good movies, so I don't expect anything different.
yeah,
I'm excited for Endgame, but I think it's gonna pale in comparison to what happened in Infinity War. I don't know. Like,
I'm interested what ending they're gonna go with.
yeah.
I think it'd be hilarious if they just like brought Squirrel Girl in from out of nowhere and she was the one that defeats Thanos.
Anna Kendrick just shows up and it's like, Rah!
Yeah.
I don't know what Squirrel Girl's power is, but I just assume that she goes around screaming Rah! And then attacks you.
I don't really know a whole lot about her either.
Yeah. Hey Curtis, how's it going?
But...
And then Viper also wanted a release date for Halo, which.
So my theory on that, just real quick, is
we got theories.
They announced it early, essentially to say like, hey, this is a thing that we're working on, and we might maybe get some additional information at E3 this year, like maybe like a gameplay tease or something, but we won't hear anything else in terms of like release date or anything.
Yeah.
And they won't even have like Xbox One at the end or anything like that. It'll just stop.
Yeah.
Because my theory is that they are starting the hype train early, and it's going to be a launch title for the next generation of Xbox. Which that could be an entire podcast in and of itself.
Which will be called Xbox Infinite. No,
I don't. No, I don't know what it's going to be called, but I mean, I have theories based off of rumors and all this kind of stuff. So,
I think that my thought is that it's not going to be a game. It's going to be an experience, and it's going to be basically like a hub, and you can play like a Halo Battle Royale game, you can play a Halo campaign, you can play a Halo multiplayer, and like maybe like Halo War, like a Halo War sequel, like it's all going to be like one thing.
Yeah, maybe like a subscription or something, like you pay $60 every year or whatever.
Yeah, and then it's like you are Halo, you got all your Halo needs covered.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a possibility. My initial guess had been that it was going to be a like Halo Destiny type of game.
Sure.
Where it's like open world and like you start out as just like like a little UNSC trooper or something, and then you can like level up and upgrade and stuff, I guess, and become a Spartan. I don't know.
That's how it works. You like, oh, you kill the Covenant. You're now Master Chief.
Well, I mean, I'm
Surprise.
sure it would be more involved than that, but I like that was my initial impression.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's really hard to formulate any sort of coherent, solid idea of what it is, because it was all environmental. It didn't say game footage. It just said game engine footage.
Yep.
So there's a lot of like asterisks on everything that they showed regarding it. So
yeah. Viper says Frank O'Connor mentioned that the only BR they want is the battle rifle, to which I say Marvel also said that Endgame was not going to be the title of the next movie, but they lied, so people lie. And I want Halo BR. Just gonna say.
I mean, I only want Halo BR if it's ODST.
Well, I mean, of course, that's the only way that's the only way it works.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, but I think that would be like a real cool concept. Like you just pick on the map where you want to land. It's there's no defined flight path or anything. It's literally just where do you want to go? Boom, there, done.
And in that city, that was a wonderful city. Loved that. Like, exploring the darkness, it was cool. But on the subject of Halo, this is the coalition in Microsoft is dubbing it the Year of Gears because there's like 3 Gears games coming out this year. There's the Gears Pop, which I've seen some gameplay on it. It's like there's like a Clash of Clans like card game kind of thing, and it's basically a rip off of that.
I'd completely forgotten about all the weird Gears spin-offs that they did.
And then there's Gears Tactics I haven't heard anything about. I have a feeling that it's not coming out this year. Like I feel like they're gonna be like, look, it's just not happening.
So that, or maybe it was supposed to be like a summer release, and now it's getting pushed to like December or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and then of course Gears 5, and
yeah,
like oh man, y'all know how I feel about Gears 5. And then Viper in the chat says, I think the fad of BR would end by Halo Infinite. I honestly don't think that Battle Royale is a fad. I think it's just a new game type. Like, I think it's like Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill, all these game types that are just in every game. I don't think that Battle Royale will work with every game, but in games that it does work with, I think it's going to be in there for possibly ever.
I would have to agree with that. I do also agree with Viper, though, that the fad of it will probably die down by then.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like the novelty of it's going to wear off. Like, it's not going to be like, oh my god, it's a new Battle Royale game. It's going to be it's here.
Yeah. The only problem that I see with having any sort of future where it's here, as you said, is those are very expensive game modes to maintain. I mean, the maps are huge. Performance costs, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, as time goes on, I think people are gonna get better at making them, and possibly there's gonna be smaller versions of it. Like instead of going for like full hundreds, it's gonna like
kind of like the CS:GO BR.
I don't know anything about that.
It's I think it's like maximum like 6 teams of 4 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, basically like just it's going to there might be smaller ones, but like the same idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there'll be different versions of it, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere like a fad like where it's just going to like drop off and never happen. Kind of like what's happened with MOBAs actually, where it's like MOBAs aren't as big of a thing anymore. Like it used to be like, oh, there's a new MOBA coming out. Like even Blizzard shut down their MOBA. Basically.
Well, yeah, shut down asterisks.
Yeah, like they're
Yeah, I think they're still maintaining support for it. They're just not doing like seasonal events or anything like that anymore because they're ramping up for their next project, which is probably Diablo 4.
Don't you all have phones?
No, I mean like a real Diablo
I
4.
I know.
But
That still made me laugh. Um, but yeah, and then yeah, that's pretty much what I'm excited for is Gears and some Marvel stuff. I'm excited for Alita Battle Angel. Like that movie looks so pretty. I don't know if you've seen a trailer for it.
I have. Why? Why was I thinking it had already come out?
Because they keep pushing it back. It was supposed to come out in December, but now it's coming out in February or March.
Oh,
So
okay then.
that's a good sign. I'm not worried.
It's just an editing hell, you know.
Yeah. All great movies are in editing hell for months.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
I'm so worried that that movie's gonna suck, but it looks so good. Oh, well, if you have any quick thoughts on Fallout 76, Viper wants to know.
um, I could give you some quick thoughts. We can talk more about it in depth later.
Okay.
But my quick thoughts basically boil down to I got out of it exactly what I was expecting to get out of it.
Mm.
Um, I was very pragmatic about my expectations from the game. The polish level was a little disappointing.
Mm.
Like I'm not going to argue that, but the as far as like the content and how everything functioned within the game, it all made sense to me and I appreciated it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played a whole lot of it,
Mm.
just simply because sitting down and playing it is a time investment. It's not something that you can just kind of like pick up and go, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, only play like 30 minutes and then stop. And that's partially because with everything being, you know, like instanced and online and everything, like you can't like get halfway through a, you know, a
Mm-hmm.
dungeon, if you will, and then save your game and quit and come back and be in the same spot. Like you can come back, but you'll be, if you're in an individual instance of a dungeon or something, you'll be all the way at the very beginning or
Yeah.
potentially even back outside.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not and you're just in a random area,
Mm-hmm.
then there's the possibility that you'll spawn in and have random combatants around you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
like I said, I got out of it what I was expecting to. Haven't played a tremendous amount of it personally, but I don't think it's as bad as what people are giving it flack for. I feel like the same thing
Mm.
happened with this that happened with Mass Effect Andromeda. Everybody kind of liked it, and then their favorite YouTubers were like, no, it's bad. And then they're like, oh, well, fuck this game.
Mm.
And then it becomes memes.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's exactly what happened with Andromeda, and that's what's happening with 76. That being Bethesda's PR fucked the pooch in so many ways. Like
Yeah.
that part is inexcusable. Like the whole bag controversy and
Mm-hmm.
everything is just dumb.
Yeah.
That should have never been an issue to begin with.
Yeah. The way that I see, like obviously I'm from the outside. I haven't played. I've seen like some footage and heard people talk about it. Kind of like what I see it as is it's very similar, not very similar, but kind of similar to when Elder Scrolls Online came out. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be Skyrim, but an MMO. It's gonna be great," and then it wasn't that, and people had like took time to get over it. Like it wasn't very popular when it came out. Like people bought it and they were like, "This is stupid." Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but I think that like as time went on, it found its niche, and it's
Hmm.
going to. And I think that Fallout 76 is going to find that niche at some point. It's too
Oh,
popular of a
definitely.
franchise. The developers are too consistent with quality releases. It's going to get there. It might not be there
Yeah,
now, but it's probably going to get there, and people are going to realize, okay, like it's not going to be the Fallout experience that I wanted, but I can enjoy this for what it is. I think
yeah,
is
yeah. And that's kind of the stance I took on it from the very beginning. Was like I knew it wasn't going to be a traditional Fallout game. It
mm-hmm.
was just going to be essentially like a survival type of game in that universe, and
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
and I
the
think that the expectation is the important part here.
yeah, definitely. Um, Yeah, I definitely think there were mistakes made in terms of design and that kind of thing. Like I
Of
feel
course.
like the
Yeah.
whole no NPCs design choice was misguided.
I think that that's going to be fixed pretty quick. Like there's gonna be like an update, like okay, now it's settled a little bit, so now there's NPCs. Solved.
Maybe
Like story
we'll see.
wise, it's solved. It's solved. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
it'll.
mean, the only problem you'd run into there is then like potentially, I'm assuming there would be like weird inconsistencies for people that like just picked up the game because like there will be, you know, like journal entries and that kind of thing that you find from other people along the way talking about how empty everything is. And now, if like 2 years after the game's released, it's populated with NPCs, and I'm playing through and finding these for the first time, it's going to be like, what are you talking about? There's people everywhere. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, it could get fixed, but I feel like that's a pretty set in stone decision that they're just
Sure.
going to have to deal with. And it was definitely a gamble. It could have worked, but I
Mm.
don't think it did.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Um. Yeah. So I wrapped it up at about 11 o'clock. It's 11:17 now, so I think we're good to go.
Yeah, you know, we're about on schedule.
That's pretty much exactly what I thought was gonna happen. So yeah, so if you missed the first bit of the podcast, it will be the whole thing will be on YouTube basically as soon as it's encoded or whatever it needs to do in the back end. It'll be available to watch just like any other podcast. Thank you guys for coming out, especially Viper and Curtis for talking in chat. And we will see you guys next time on Split Couch Games.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
And we give it like 10 seconds and then we can turn off the stream.
All right. We're gonna need a new end card.